Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Quest for Knowledge. So today we will be going through with the explanation of chapter 1 economics for second PUC introduction to microeconomics. First we will understand what is simple economy. Okay, what is simple economy? Simple economy is that first of all, we need to understand the definition of economics. So, economics is the study of problem of choice as resources are scarce and wants are unlimited. Human wants are unlimited and resources are limited. Simple economy first is all about that every human being cannot produce everything they need. Okay, they cannot produce everything they need. But every individual is busy with the production of goods and services, busy with the production of goods and services with the available resources and technology. Goods and services with the available resources and technology. Okay, so out of that, whatever they produce, some portion they will keep it for their own consumption. Some portion they will keep it for their own consumption. Rest they will exchange in the society in order to meet other needs. So this is all about a simple economy. So there is an example of a farmer, weaver, and a teacher. So farmer may have certain resources like a plot, oxen, and axe, those kind of equipments. Based off that, he will be producing rice. Some portion he will keep it for their own consumption. Rest he will exchange it in the society in order to meet other needs. What will be the other needs? Like clothes, tools, etc. Okay. Similarly, the weaver will have some resources like yarn, wool. Okay. Out of that, he will produce cloth. Some portion he will keep it for his own consumption. Rest he will exchange it in the society in order to meet other needs. Teacher might not have anything to produce like a good, but she will use her skill and offer the service. And by offering the service, she will earn salary. Out of that salary, she will buy the goods and services she requires. So this is all about simple economy. You need to understand only 4 points. Everything they need, they cannot produce. But every individual is busy with the production of goods and services with available resources and technology. Some portion they will keep it for their own consumption. Rest they will exchange it in the society in order to meet other needs. Example of a farmer, weaver, and a teacher. Farmer may have plot, oxen, and axe. Out of that he will produce rice. Some portion he will keep it for his own consumption. Rest he will exchange it in the society in order to meet other needs. Weaver will have yarn, wool, and out of that he will produce cloth. Some portion he will keep it for his own consumption. Rest he will exchange in the society in order to meet other needs. Teacher might not be able to produce any good, but she will offer service using her skill and she will earn salary. Out of that salary she will meet her other needs. So this is all about a simple economy. It is a closed economy. Okay, so now next we will understand what is the central problem of an economy. What is the central problem of an economy? So as resources are scarce and wants are unlimited, for everything they have to make a good decision for the efficient allocation of the resources and the proper utilization of the resources, so that any resources should not get wasted. So the central problem of an economy is what to produce, in what quantity, how to produce, and whom to produce. This discusses about the problem of choice as resources are scarce and wants are unlimited. So in this we need to understand what to produce, whether to produce food or whether to produce clothes or whether to produce weapons in the available resources, and in what quantity has to be produced each of the products or each of the goods. So that is what to produce. Second, how to produce. This discuss about the problem of technology, whether to go for labor intensive or capital intensive. If they choose labor intensive, it means more labors, more worker will be used for the production. If they go with capital intensive, then most probably they will be using machines and equipments in order to produce the goods. So how to produce, whether they want to follow the traditional method or the modern method, and what technology they are going to use in order to produce, whether it is capital intensive or labor intensive. And whom to produce, it means to whom the product has to be made. For example, to rich or poor, to what section of society, Okay, this discuss about the problem of distribution. Okay, what kind of taste and preference they will have, whether it will be for the rich or poor, or what section of the society they are going to target the market, so whom to produce, is all discussing about the problem of distribution. So this is the central problem of an economy. So now we will be discussing various types of economy. First we have centrally planned economy. Centrally planned economy is also called as command economy or socialistic economy. Okay, and all the major decisions are taken by the government will take all the major decisions related to the economic activity of production, distribution, consumption and exchange. So the government plays the major role in the economy. As the government plays the major role, so it is service oriented, and they will always look for the betterment or the welfare of the public. Okay, so the best example for the centrally planned economy is North Korea, China and Vietnam. Okay, now this is all about the centrally planned economy. What is private economy? Private economy is completely opposite of centrally planned economy. It is also called as free trade economy or private economy or laissez-faire economy, with all the major decisions are taken by the private enterprise or individuals or businesses. So the government plays a very minimum role in this. The government plays minimum role, and as it is the private enterprises, it is mostly focused on the profit. So the motive is profit, so it is profit oriented. So one of the best example for this private economy is USA, Japan, Australia and Singapore. Now we will be understanding what is mixed economy. Mixed economy, it is the mixture or the combination of both the socialistic and capitalistic economy. This is also called as capitalistic economy. So it is the mixture of both centrally planned economy and private economy. It is the mixture or the combination of both private and public sector. So India is the best example of mixed economy. So now we are done with the types of economy. Now we will be understanding what is micro and what is macroeconomics. This year we will be studying economics under two broad subjects, micro and macroeconomics. In micro we will be studying all about the individual behavior of the economic agents like producer, consumer. Here we will be studying about the aggregate economy as a whole. Aggregate economy as a whole. Okay, here we will discuss about only individual demand and supply. Here we will discuss about the individual demand and supply. Here we will discuss more on the aggregate demand and supply. Aggregate demand and supply. Here we will have the theory related to price, okay, or consumer, etc. But here we will discuss the theory related to employment, income, etc. And this is also called as ants eye view or microscopic view. As it is a detailed study, so it will called as microscopic view or ants eye view. Here we'll call it as bird's eye view. Bird's eye view. Okay, so this is all about micro and macroeconomics. Now we will discuss what is positive and normative economics. So what is meant by positive economics and normative economics? Positive economics focus more on what it is and what it was, and it also studies about the function of mechanism. It's also study about the function of mechanism. So example, the employment is very low. Employment is low. Here normative economy, whenever we discuss about normative economics, the norm, it means here we will add some moral, some ethics, some rules. So here it will be like what ought to be, and what should to be. What should to be. Here it is about the study of the evaluation of the function of mechanism. So here we will be discussing what is favorable to the country and what is not favorable to the country, what is desirable to the country and what is not desirable to the country. Here we are going to give a statement like what when it is employment is low. Here we will say that the government has to do something. The government must take any steps towards the unemployment in our country. So this comes under the normative economics. A bit of judgment will be added, a bit of statement will be added in the normative economic. Here we will be studying only about the function of mechanism. Here we will study about the evaluation of the function of mechanism. So that is the difference between positive and normative economics. Okay, now once we are done with this, we need to understand the other very important concept, which is production possibility frontier. So it is the production possible production of the combination of two goods which can be produced with the available resources and technology. Okay, so for that we need to understand opportunity cost. It means in order to produce something in more quantity, then we have to give up some of the other quantity. So that is opportunity cost. Okay, opportunity cost is the next best alternative for gone. Why this is needed? Because resources are scarce. Why this is needed is because resources are scarce and wants are unlimited. Okay, so for example, the resources is allocated between cotton and corn. If the cotton is produced to maximum, then there is no space for the production of cotton. And if there is a demand for some corn, then the farmer is producing 8 of cotton, then 2 of the corn, 5 of the cotton and 5 of the corn. And there is no demand for the cotton in the society, so the producer will more focus on the production of the corn. So this is how in order to produce one thing to the maximum, other has to be minimum or zero. In order to produce one thing to the maximum, then the other has to be give up. The quantity has to give up. So this is transformation curve. PPC curve is also the same table. We will define it in the form of a graph. So this is okay, good X and good Y. So this is, let this be cotton and let this be corn. Okay, so this is the quantities, how it has been produced, the ABCD. So this is the possible production which can be done with the available resources and technology. So if one is produced to the maximum, then other has to go minimum, and vice versa. So this is called as PPC curve, which is production possibility curve, and it is also called as transformation curve. So this curve shows the proper utilization and allocation of the resources. Below this it is called as underutilization of resources. Above this is called as the resources, we don't have that much of resources, so it is impossible to produce out of the limit of this PPC curve. So this is all about the production possibility curve. By this we are done with the explanation of this first chapter, and I have also shared the easy notes for you, so that it will be very easy for you to score good marks. If you really like this video and it is really helpful for you, then do subscribe, like, share it with your friends, and hit the bell icon so that you can also get my latest notification. Thank you so much for watching.